All right, let's talk about something you probably see every single day. And maybe, just maybe, you roll your eyes at it, the motivational quote. You know, could these seemingly cheesy phrases actually be a secret weapon for engaging your team? Well, let's find out. I mean, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? That stock photo of a mountain, some bold text about climbing it. And if you're like most people, your first thought is probably, oh, come on, really? So that's the question we're digging into. Are these things genuinely inspiring, or are they just, annoying corporate fluff? And the answer, it turns out, is actually pretty simple. It's all about context. See, the magic isn't in the words themselves. It's all about how, when, and most importantly, why they're used. A quote by itself is just noise, but a quote used strategically, that can be a real catalyst for change. Okay, so to really understand why that context is so crucial, we need to get a handle on what's at stake here. Because employee engagement, it isn't some soft, feel-good metric. No, it has a massive, totally measurable impact on the bottom line. So let's move past the fluff and get right to the hard facts. Just let this number sink in for a second. $550 billion. That is the estimated annual cost of having disengaged employees, and that's just in the US. This isn't some minor issue we're talking about. It's a colossal drain on productivity and, of course, profit. But let's look at the flip side, because this isn't just about plugging a leak in the boat. It's about opening a fire hose of potential. Get this. Companies with highly engaged teams are a staggering 21% more profitable. The takeaway here couldn't be clearer. Engagement is a direct driver of business success. Period. So here we are with this massive, incredibly expensive problem. Where do you even begin to fix it? Well, surprisingly, a really simple, super low-cost tool can start to bridge that gap. And that tool, it's just words. Let's look at how to use them the right way. Because a well-chosen quote isn't just something you slap on a poster for the break room. Think of it more like a precision tool. You can use it to publicly recognize a specific achievement, right? Or to consistently reinforce the company culture you're trying to build. You can even use one to make a key message in a big meeting really stick. Heck, it can even be a clever way to help a skeptical manager finally see the value in all of this. But, and believe me, this is a big but, there are rules. You can't just throw quotes around and expect some kind of magic to happen. To actually be effective, this tool has to be used with real intention and care. So let's break down the do's and the don'ts. The common thread here is really authenticity and action. So do be super intentional. Make sure the quotes actually align with your real culture, but don't overuse them until they just become background noise. And most importantly, never let them become a substitute for meaningful action. Seriously, words without any follow-through are way worse than silence. They're just hypocritical. All right, so theory is one thing, but let's see how this actually works in practice. I think the best way to really grasp the power of a good quote is to see how visionary leaders use them to frame their core business principles. I mean, this one from Simon Sinek just cuts right to the heart of what purpose-driven work is all about. It's not about hiring human resources. It's about building a team of true believers who are emotionally invested in the mission. That right there is the difference between compliance and real commitment. Now pay close attention to where this one comes from. This isn't some motivational guru. This is Jack Welch, the legendary CEO of GE. And what does he do? He puts employee engagement on the exact same level as customer satisfaction and cash flow. That one sentence can completely transform how a leadership team thinks about its people. And this one, from former Xerox CEO Anne Mulcahy, illustrates that human connection so brilliantly. When you show genuine concern for your employees as actual people, not just workers, you unlock so much more productivity and fulfillment. It's a simple, powerful feedback loop. You care for your team, and they'll care for the business. And, that focus on the whole person leads us to the most important part of this whole thing. Because if quotes are the tool, what's the material we're actually working with? Well, the real secret to engagement, it actually isn't about the words at all. This right here is the ultimate takeaway. Quotes are amplifiers, not substitutes. They are completely useless, or maybe even damaging if you have a toxic culture. But in a healthy, supportive workplace, they can amplify all the good things that are already happening. They just give language to the values you're already living every day. And this final quote from Bill Gates perfectly captures the whole goal. The ultimate purpose of all this engagement stuff isn't just to make people feel good or to boost the bottom line. It's about empowering people. True leadership is about creating an environment where other people can truly excel. So we'll end with a question for you to think about. Just reflect on the way you and your organization communicate. Are your words, whether they're in a fancy quote or just a simple email, are they actively empowering your team? Or are they just adding to the noise?